Hello guys. Today we are talking about the new Spider-Man movie that came out this month. God, what can I say about this movie? This is just first. This movie came out this year. It's rated PG-13. It's 2 hours and 28 minutes long. Has 8.9 out of 10 on IMDb with 290,000 ish user votes. The Metacritic score on this bad boy is 71 with 289 critics. The movie's directed by John Watts, who did the first two Spider-Man movies for MCU. It stars Tom Holland, who was in the other Spider-Man movie, and Zendaya, who was in the other Spider-Man movies, and also, if you want something else to add to that, it would have been The Greatest Showman. On the Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has 93% on Rotten Tomatoes by critics, with 338 critics and 98% by audience people, 25,000 ish audience people. Here's the consensus for critics. A bigger, bolder Spider-Man sequel, No Way Home, expands this franchise's scope and stakes without losing sight of its humor and heart. The audience says, packed with action, emotion, and surprises, Spider-Man No Way Home is franchise fan service at its finest. Now, you see, first of all, this movie, I would say this is one of the best. This movie is one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. Definitely in a long time. Like this is on the same level as when I. This is pretty close to the same level when I saw Endgame. That was a great theatrical experience. But this was great because this was one of those movies where you saw what the audience is. The audience I saw was fantastic. Sometimes if you get the right audience with the right movie, it can really elevate that experience because the audience was like, whoo, claps and everything. It was great. Um, and I just saw it in just a regular theater. It wasn't like some special theater or anything. It was just perfect storm. But yeah, what really makes this movie like awesome. There's no flaws in this movie. Like no joke. Like this is a perfectly crafted Spider-Man movie. You might find a nitpick there and there. Some people may prefer other things, but goddamn, like I don't know how many people don't like this movie. I think I mean we obviously know that there's villains from other Spider-Man franchises in this movie, so that's not really a spoiler. So there you might have a few people that may not care for having the other Spider-Man franchise characters in this one, but I mean, at that point, it's more of just a tasting than a film quality thing. Now, God, there's nothing bad about this movie. This movie, if you're a Spider-Man fan, like this is like the movie to see. And the great part about watching this is movie is that when they bring up the past of characters in other franchises, it helps to see those, but the way they frame and tell it, it doesn't necessarily feel necessary. You could get away with it, and I like that. I think what makes it great is that like all the actors in those franchises came back. They didn't have to recast anyone, and they didn't really have to recast anyone, and they kind of kept it, and it felt just commitment. I felt like they took these solid characters and backgrounds and elevated them. And I get it, nowadays there's already spoilers everywhere. Pretty much everyone already knows what I'm talking about, but and yeah, the rumors of is Toby or Andrew in it or not. I'm not gonna say if they are or not. Um, but I'm not gonna say if it is or not. Most people who looked online, they kind of know the answer to that question. But I will say this film, oh my god, like all the villains are used exponentially well. I think the biggest benefactor of of this is actually, like the Toby, like all of them benefit great in this movie. To be, I think the one that I actually think benefits the most, um, actually Electro does because he's given a complete makeover. He looks a bunch better and he has a lot more depth and character to him in this. but all of them are executed well. Sandman and the Lizard, they're good. They're fun, and their Lizard actually has a lot more humorous elements to him, which is cool. Sandman, too. The villains actually have a lot of great chemistry with each other, which is very refreshing to see. Because a lot of times villains bicker and attack each other a lot, but it's kind of cool seeing them work off each other in a more positive way. Here's another great thing about this movie that I love, because a lot of people may see this as more of an ensemble film. They just see like it's empty fan, like fan service, but there is a great thing they address in this film: a hero's relationship with their villains. Like, what does that relationship mean? How much hate is there in? What are the responsibilities a hero has when it comes to handling villains, handling bad people? I mean, they may be bad, they may do a lot of bad things, but are they necessarily evil? Like, how much do we help them, and when do we draw a line? Draw a line and say, sorry, you fucked up too much, you're gonna have to accept the punishment. I mean, it's it's handled super well, and it's fantastic. It's a fantastic way of doing it. They did it so well, like super well. I just think, oh, and William Dafoe as Green Goblin. Oh my God. Oh, just thinking about it now, just oh, it's just so great. Cause I grew up with the Toby movies. I mean, I saw the especially the first. The third one didn't see till I got a little bit older. So I didn't. I still have remember seeing it, but not nearly as early as the first two films. Like the first two films, my God. Oh, I watched those on VHS on repeat. William Dafoe, Green Goblin. He was like that character I grew up with, pretty much. One of the first like superhero stuff I saw was that movie and Toby and Green Goblin. And oh my God, seeing Green Goblin and Doc Ock and them just together in that movie. Oh my God, it was so much fun seeing him, and he still got it. I mean those villains, they still work super well in an MCU movie like this. And yeah, I'm just so happy I saw it in theaters. I know it's very tempting to just see it at home, and it's still great at home. But seeing in theaters with the people, the gasp, the claps, just oh my God, it's the cheering. It really adds to that experience, and this movie has what I call cinema magic, cinematic magic. It's when these movies have these moments in them where you felt like you just saw something, for lack of a creative term, magical. Something that's gonna stick with you for the rest of your life and help carry you through those tough moments. This movie had quite a bit of those. And it's so weird because they're gonna make three more of these minimum, maybe another six, but definitely three more of Tom Holland Spider-Man, and it just kind of makes you wonder. Like at the end of the movie, yeah, this movie, and also Doctor Strange is in it, of course. Ooh, and he's great in it too, definitely. I think what makes this film just super solid is just the fact that it could have easily been just like empty fan service. It would have done well, but I mean, people, it was easy to go that route. But man, they did a great job of adding meaning to these villains. Like these villains, I'm not joking. They feel like legit like characters and human beings. They don't feel like just adversaries. They feel like a responsibility to the heroes. Because even if the villains like current predicaments is the villain's fault, the hero's fault, it doesn't matter. I mean, the hero has an obligation, a duty to protect and help people. Even if that person is a bastard or did a lot of bad things, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're all bad. They still have rights. They still have some form of humanity. They still have fears and stuff. You know, they still have stuff wrong with them that they need help with. And while the villains may fight and claw back and they may not be appreciative, it's the hero's job, and that's the lesson that this movie uses super well in it. And that's something I think a lot of people are not going to catch, and I think a lot of people are going to miss. but it's there, and you see it, and it's just, oh, I just love this movie. This is a great movie. Definitely my favorite of the original trilogy so far. I mean, the first two films were good. I feel like the first one was the most consistently good. I think the second one was better than the first one, although there are a moment or two where it dips a little in weirdness, but I feel like overall it is better. This one's the best. Like, it does the most. Like, the next Spider-Man film they do, they're probably going to wait a bit because it's really early for that. But I think at some point when we do see that next Spider-Man movie, I think it's going to be very interesting to see where the characters go from there. But yeah, overall, this is definitely a great movie. Definitely check it out in theaters. While it's up there, I'm sure it's already crossed like 1 billion, and it's already earned more than an Avengers movies. I mean, this film's just so. This film is not just like a Marvel movie or an MCU movie. This is like a Spider-Man movie, and there's a difference because even though Doctor Strange is in this movie, I mean, it's so hard to find a superhero film nowadays where it's like this is a Superman movie. You have the Superman characters, Superman heroes and villains. It's Superman through and through kind of thing. Because a lot of films nowadays, it's like, yeah, it's technically them, but there's also these guys and those guys, and that's great. But it doesn't. You start to lose the identity. You don't see the characters that are popular in that character's role. And in this movie, you do. You see, it's all Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. So if you love Spider-Man, you're gonna have a ball with this, you know. And that's kind of what I like about it too. It kind of captures that old school superhero ness where it's just that world, those heroes. And I'm not saying there's not a benefit for having guest cameo heroes from other stuff, heroes and villains from other stuff, but at the same time, you got to be careful though. And I know this is a side topic, but it really goes into like how good this movie is. Yeah, I definitely recommend seeing it for sure. And to be honest, if I could watch it again, I would. And that doesn't happen often for me. Even with some of the great movies I've seen, it's usually like, I can wait a bit. Not this one. Not with this one. This film just hits the sweet spots for me, and that's what works best for it for sure. I think. All right, now in terms of like what I'm reviewing next, that's tough. Of course, the DC or MCU movies that come up. I think I was gonna do the new Matrix movie, but I'm gonna be watching that at home with my wife, so that'll probably be grouped in that big chunker Matrix series review that I'm doing in Fin Recommend. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, in terms of like other stuff, I'm not quite sure. I think it just depends. Um, Probably gonna be very superhero heavy coming into next year. But yeah, I do think overall like this is one of my favorite movies I've seen all year. I've been to the movies a decent amount last year, and I saw some good ones. But this one I think might take the cake a little bit, to be honest. I don't know. It's just such a solid movie. I highly recommend it for sure. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. In case you want to chat with me, Mike, or anyone else at the Campy Company, you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a discussion tab on our channel as well. You can access that through a PC or laptop computer. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.